Per capita Olympics is just the Cope Olympics. And no, Great Britain is nowhere near the top per capita. You're just coping because you hate that the USA is better than you at sports. For starters, the per capita Olympic champion is San Marino with 3 medals. That's the per capita Olympics champion, and they've had no gold medals. But even if we go by gold medals, the champion is the Bahamas. They've had 8 gold medals. So what does per capita medal count actually count? It counts how small of a country you are. It doesn't count how good you are at sports. It counts how incredibly small of a country you are. It is not a metric useful for which country's actually better at sports. The one that's actually useful is the total medal count, where USA is dominant and absolutely destroys all of you. Like, here's the thing, Great Britain, you actually do better in the overall medal count than you do in the per capita Olympics. But that's also why you guys win the Cope Olympics, because you have to bring up per capita, even though you lose there too. But here's the thing, the Olympics is not measured by per capita. It's measured by outright winning. And per capita doesn't make sense in a competition where they limit the amount of spots you get per event. Americans are only allowed 3 positions per event in track and field events. They're only allowed 1 team in team sport events, and every other event has its own limitations as well. So we're not giving per capita representation either. In fact, it favors the small countries. What USA does do really well is we win the most sports and competitions in a larger variety of sports and competitions than any other country on earth, and by a huge margin. And yes, some of that's because we have a large population, but we don't have the largest population. China and India do, and by a considerable margin. So population is not the only factor. But here's the thing. If we actually divided the USA into states and the states could actually compete themselves, they would beat most of you as well. California, on its own, beats Russia, China, and Great Britain since 1984 in the Summer Olympics. And here's the thing, California only has about 40 million people. Great Britain has 67 million people. So here's the thing, if our states were divided into 50 different states and competed, we'd get a whole lot more entries and a whole lot more medals. And probably one of our states would get the per capita Olympics too. But you guys don't want to talk about that, do you? At the end of the day, America is the greatest sporting country on earth, and nobody cares about the per capita Olympics. Only cope. That's all it is. You're just coping.